everybody, I'm Tracy Pattin and this is Sizzlecaster.com, and I am doing another Skype interview with Gnarly Charley and Chris Hudspeth from Florida. Hi guys.
Hi Tracy.
And these guys have a show called, they have a radio show called Totally Awesome Retro Party, and that's so cool, you guys. So tell us about what you guys do over there in Hollywood, Florida.
Okay, well this is a 3-hour fun-filled 80s party show.
Yeah. We get jacked up on Skittles and
yes,
fun
we get
dip.
a lot of junk food.
So you gotta have Skittles, okay?
And fun dip.
So we get all fired up and Jolt Cola when it's available. And we just have a good time. Play a lot of 80s party music, all different types, all different genres, what have you. And we just have fun, kind of like a radio station sounded like in the 1980s.
So you're doing the whole retro thing all the way around. Hey, now let's talk about how popular your show is and the 80s making a comeback.
Okay, well I also, on my real job, I work weekends at 97.3 The Coast here in Miami, and we do totally 80s weekends. We have for the past 10 years. The ratings are phenomenal, and the 80s music has never been hotter. I mean, even young kids are into, you know, the Michael Jackson stuff, Madonna, Prince, whatever. And you hear the 80s music all over the TV, too, on different commercials. You might hear, like, I Melt With You and Don't You Want Me, Baby. I just heard, what's it?
Bust a Move?
Bust a Move on a spot the other night. So it's all over the TV. So these young kids that weren't even born in the 80s are suddenly experiencing, say, hey, this music's pretty good, you know, I like it.
Yeah. So, and you guys, let's talk a little bit about the difference between terrestrial radio and internet radio, and just how terrestrial radio has changed. Chris, you were saying some interesting things before about that. What are the changes?
Terrestrial radio is tough to get into. We've both been in broadcasting for quite a while ourselves. I started when I was in high school, very similar to Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, over the past 20 years, it's changed in a sense that it's gotten somewhat smaller. And especially with the advent of the internet, it allows for people to do things from their house.
Right.
Where a studio cost maybe 10, 20 years ago, $50,000 in order to do something. Now you can have everything you need for $2,000, $3,000. And you're able to broadcast from your living room as opposed to having to have a big giant transmitter and tower in the backyard. Radio stations pay ASCAP and BMI fees in order to play music, and on the internet, in order to share shows like our show, in order for it to be on the internet, would require us to pay ASCAP and BMI fees, which are actually more expensive than what a radio station pays. And it's done on how many people listen and for how long. And it
for a substantial amount of money.
Right, for a small little little people like we are, it takes a lot of effort, and does take some financing to get things like that off the ground. Also a lot of connections, knowing people in the right places. And terrestrial radio, you can really only hear with a 70-mile radius on big, powerful radio stations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in internet, like Charlie, you have people in Germany and Brazil.
Well, yeah, the whole thing about streaming audio, where you can listen anywhere in the world. I get emails on the weekend, Tracy, from England, Germany, Australia. I got a guy that listens on his phone in Sao Paulo, Brazil, all the time.
So
it's just amazing. You can listen anywhere on the internet.
So it really does open up your market, right? It makes it global, and it's so much easier to reach across the world. So it's a sort of a combination then of the internet and your actual radio station, right?
Absolutely, and that's what Chris was saying. Things have really changed as far as radio goes in the past 10 years.
Right. Well, someone, let's say from Brazil or Germany, we have a lot of visitors in South Florida, especially this time of year.
Yes.
And they might hear a radio station when they rent a car, they hear a radio station. Well, now they can go back home if they like the radio station and have a little piece of South Florida where they're at.
That's happened on so many occasions. These two dudes who came here on vacation from Hong Kong, and I give them shout outs all the time because they're always listening back at home.
I love it. Shout outs to Hong Kong. How cool is that? That is, wow, it's so cool. And speaking of reaching across and the whole internet and being able to connect, we connected, Gnarly and I connected via Facebook. And we figured out we have a bunch of friends in common. So I wouldn't be doing this, everyone, right now if it wasn't for Facebook. And I just happened to connect with him and said, hey, what do you do? And he said, I'm a radio personality. I said, well, let's do a Skype interview. So you see, there's so many ways to use the internet, use new media to create relationships, because it's all about relationships, right, guys? It really is.
I'll tell you, Tracy, I saw your profile picture and I said there's something special about that girl.
See, profile pictures are important.
Sizzlecaster. That name really jumped out at me. I said, I have to friend this girl. And luckily you were nice enough to accept my Facebook friendship, and we have a lot of friends in common too, which is really cool.
I mean, it really is a testament to how much power Facebook and new media can have for our lives if we treat it more, if we go beyond just the socializing and just, making it trivial, because I think a lot of people trivialize Facebook, but if you really look and see, well, wait a minute, if I reach out and make connections, who knows where it will go? As Charlie said, the Skype's the limit. That's really
great. Skype's the limit.
The Skype's the limit. So okay.
Yes, the Skype's the limit.
Skype's the limit. Wait, put that up close there. Perfect. Love it. Okay. Wow, you have good printing, Chris.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's why
Very
he's
good
the
printing.
Jack producer, man. I would have forgot to say it this time, actually.
There's no lines.
So, guys, before we wrap it up, what's next for you? And tell everybody how they can find you and hear you.
Okay, well, you can go to our website, which is totallyawesomeretroparty.com. And right on the home page is a description of what the show is all about, and also a demo of the first show, which is up there, and also some other pages there that explains about the show. And
you can see Commander Cruz.
That's true. Commander Cruz is our voice guy.
Okay.
He's a great voiceover person and a voice imager. And
cool.
He's the voice of the show. His real name is Joe Cruz, and we call him Commander Cruz because our whole show is about a bunch of space cadet freaks, which we are, basically. And
I love it. Uh-oh, we got a freeze. Oh, here we go. Okay, see, now that's what happens with Skype. You guys froze in place for a second, but you're back. You're back.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Professor at gnarlycharley.com. You can just if you're interested in running the show, maybe, which would be cool. And
or go to the website, and all of our email addresses are on there.
Absolutely. TotallyAwesomeRetroParty.com. We'd love to have you all visit.
And we'll maybe get you to come out to LA sometime and do your show from here.
Okay, maybe we'll get you to come.
Yeah, come to Florida
and show here.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with the Totally Awesome Retro Party. Did I get that right? Yes, I did.
Thank you, and keep it sizzling, baby.
Yeah, and have fun out there in Hollywood, Florida.
And you have fun in West Hollywood, California.
Bye.
It all works.
And bye, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Tracy Pattin. This is Sizzlecaster.com.